and YouTube. So again, we just finished up with number 5. We took a long lunch and now we're back on letter C. Anything I don't get to, I'm going to record a separate video. So just keep your eyes out for that. And I'll put any information on Schoology for you guys to take a look at. So this problem, it says find the first term. So we're finding a sub 1 and it gives us a couple terms in the series. It gives us the 5th one is -5. It gives us the 9th one is -17. What we're doing is looking for the first term. What we're going to do is we're going to end up having a systems of equations because I can use my general form to find the 5th term and to find the 9th term, and that's going to help me figure out what the first term is. So let's go one at a time. We're going to write these 2 equations out. So instead of writing a sub 5, I'm going to write what that actually equals. It equals -5. That is a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. Now I actually do know what n is. N is the number term that we're on. It's the 5th term, so I'm going to write 5 in for my n. I don't know my first term. I don't know my common difference. I am going to simplify this, though, so I am going to do 5 minus 1 to get 4. So I've got -5 equals 1a plus 4d. I'm going to use that in a moment. And then next, I'm going to do my a sub 9. So instead of writing a sub 9, I'm going to write -17 equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. Now, instead of writing n, though, I'm going to write 9 because it's the 9th term. And again, I'm going to simplify that. So I've got -17 equals a sub 1 plus 8d. Now you're welcome to solve this using elimination or substitution, or I guess like technically you could graph it. I don't know why you would do that, but you could do that technically. I'm going to do substitution because I think that that's easier here. I see that I've got a sub 1 all by itself in both of these. So if I can solve for one of them, then I can substitute that new expression in for a sub 1. So I'm going to minus 4d from both sides of that first equation. So I've got -5 minus 4d equals a sub 1. And I'm going to plug -5 minus 4d in for my a sub 1. Everything else stays the same. I still have -17 equals that and plus 8d at the end. Now I put parentheses there just to like keep it organized, but I can get rid of them. I don't need them. And then I'm going to just combine things and solve for d. So -4d plus 8d is 4d, and then if I add 5 to both sides, I get -12. And if -12 equals 4d, then that means d just equals -3. Once we have d, we can go back into any equation. I'm going to go back to the one we just substituted in and put -3 in to find out what my a sub 1 is, and that's my first term. So I had to find d, and once I plug that in, I'm going to be done. I'm going to have found my first term. So I've got -3 in for my d. Everything else stays the same. I've got -5. -5 minus 4 equals a sub 1. And that's like -5 plus 12, which is 7. So my first term is 7. And we can actually go back and check our work with this, because if 7's my first term and my difference is -3, that means I start at 7. I can just like -3, -3, -3, -3, and see if I get to -5. So if I start at 7 and I -3, that gets me to 4. -3 again gets me to 1. -3 again gets me to -2. -3 again gets -5. Oh, perfect. You can keep checking. I just don't feel like it. That's good enough. All right, so that's one of the harder types of problems I can give you with sequences. Most of the rest is just plugging in, finding the like nth term, finding the 10th term, all that fun stuff. All right, any questions on this stuff? Yeah. You could have done that too. Or if you're like, okay, I know my difference is -3 and I have to like go backwards, you can just add 3 until you get to the first term. There's a lot of things that you could technically do. I just plug it in because I know that that's right. All right, again, I can do more of these problems during office hours or another video and give that to you guys later, but I'm gonna jump into 9.5 because I wanna do a little bit of this stuff. I'm assuming you've never seen this kind of writing before. Am I correct? This is what we call summation notation. It kind of, this like really dates me, but have you guys seen the 101 Dalmatians, the like animated one? He goes like, we'll have a Dalmatian plantation, and it's like all these words rhyming together. That's kind of what this sounds like. So anyway.
Wait, do you like Sugarland?
I don't think I've seen Sugarland. Oh.
Country?
Yeah, I like some country. They have a song that's like,
What is a song called Operation Working Vacation?
oh yes, all the kind of rhymey things. Yes, that is embarrassing. I know Sugarland. I only know like 3 songs though, but like yeah, they're pretty good. Okay, so this notation, this big E is a sigma in the Greek letters. It's a capital sigma, and sigma stands for sum. So it means that I'm doing the sum of all of this stuff. This is the expression that I'm doing, and I'm gonna plug numbers in for n until I get to 4. So I start at 1, and I'm gonna end with whatever's on top, and in this case, it's 4. And I'm summing. I'm adding them all together. So I'm gonna do 2 times 1 to the 2 times 1 plus 3, and then plus 2 times 2 plus 3, plus 2 times 3 plus 3, plus, and then 2 times 4 plus 3. So we're just going to find all those terms and then add them individually together. If you can find a pattern, use it. If you can't find a pattern, then just solve them all out. So 2 times 1 plus 3 is going to be 5. 2 times 2 plus 3 is going to be 7. 2 times 3 plus 3 is 9. And then 2 times 4 plus 3 is 11. And then when I add them up, 5 plus 7 plus 9 plus 11 is 22. It looks a lot bigger and scarier than it actually is, but summation notation is pretty straightforward. Again, for sake of time, that's the only one we're going to do in class. But again, I can do more of these problems later on in a video if that's something you guys are interested in. It can get much harder and much more confusing. So we're actually going to skip our notes until we get to number 3. Is it 32? Oh, yikes. That's embarrassing. Last class, let me say it was 22. 9 plus 11 is 20. 20 plus 12 is 32. Yep. Thank you, Brooke. There's only like 5 of you in here and you still got me. Thank you. All right. We are going to skip. Again, I can do more of these, but for now, I'm not going to. We can skip. We can skip. We can skip. We're going to skip all the way down to number 3. So join me again on number 3. So these say find the sum. So I wanted to give us a couple formulas. A couple more formulas to look at. I'm just writing off like in the space over here. So I'm zooming in. You can't really tell where I'm at. I'm just writing in some big space. So I've got S of n, and this is for arithmetic. So if you're adding or subtracting, we can find the sum of any list of terms, any sequence, by doing n divided by 2 times a sub 1 plus a sub n. So again, this is sum because there's a big S. So that's how I remember I'm doing the sum of something. N is the number of terms again. A sub 1 is the first term. And then a sub n is the last term. I've got 1 for geometric 2. So I've got a geometric 1 as well. And that one goes S sub n. And it goes a sub 1 times 1 minus r to the nth. R is to the nth, not all of it, over 1 minus r. You don't need the common difference for the arithmetic one, but you do need the common ratio for the geometric one. You also still have n, which is the number of terms. And then we still have a sub 1, which is the first term. You don't have a last term here. Okay. And then if we get to it either today or again on a video, I've got something called the infinite sum. So if you have an infinite series, ooh, we're not getting to any of this. I truly thought I had 5 more minutes. That's embarrassing. I'll still give this to you. I've got S of n equals a sub 1 over 1 minus r. So what I'm going to do is make up a couple more problems for you. I hope to have a study guide for this quiz, test, quest, whatever, online starting tomorrow so you can get a head start studying. But all of Thursday's class is review. I'm going to obviously supplement some of these problems so you have a few more to watch. You can choose to watch all of it. You can choose to watch none of it. But if you can do the review sheet I give you put online and we work on Thursday, then you'll be fine for Friday. There's a lot that I can ask of you. So just know the things that I put specifically on the study guide. I think that's it. Anybody have any questions? Okay, I'm going to stop my share. I'm going to stop my recording.